So are you considering a move to the Atlanta metro area, but you don't want to live in the actual city? You're going to want to stick around as I cover my favorite cities just outside of Atlanta. Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I'm Scott DeRider with Halcyon Home Group, part of Keller Williams Realty Consultants right here in Roswell, Georgia. If you're new here and if you're interested in all things real estate, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We publish videos each Tuesday, so you really don't want to miss a thing. So the Atlanta metro area is huge. It's almost as big as the entire state of Massachusetts, just to give you some perspective. So when you're moving to Atlanta, it's important to know what side of town you want to be in. And a lot of time that's dictated by your job and where they're located. All of the cities that we're going to talk about, they have great schools. So let's go ahead and get started with my top 5 cities on the north side of Atlanta. So the first city we're going to talk about is East Cobb. Now, the funny thing is that East Cobb is actually not a city. It's actually a community located on the eastern side of Cobb County. And in that area, I will mention that there are 3 out of the top 10 high schools in this state. And that's Lassiter, Pope, and Walton. And so that makes this area a very highly desirable area. Marietta boasts a ton of great restaurants, great public parks. In fact, it's home to the historic Marietta Square, where you can stroll around and go to different restaurants, as well as take a break in the shade in the middle of the park by the fountain. The other thing I love about East Cobb is the proximity to all the work centers. If you have to get over to the Battery or the Cumberland Mall area, or if you have to shoot down into the city, into Midtown or downtown, or even just over to the perimeter, there's multiple ways to get in and out of the East Cobb area, which make it very, very highly desirable. Next, I'm going to talk about Roswell. Roswell has an amazing sense of community, cored and centered around the Roswell Area Park. There has tons to do as far as youth activities, youth sports, and we always have tons of festivals and fairs going on in the different Roswell squares, and even closing Canton Street down for a great celebration we do each Thursday in the summer called Roswell Alive After 5. Mentioning Canton Street, it's one of the highlights of Roswell. Historical Roswell downtown area with like 50s style bungalows. You can walk up and down the streets of Canton Street, dine al fresco outside, and even Roswell even passed a recent ordinance where you can actually have an open container and walk down the street with a glass of wine or a beer and enjoy the evening. Roswell is also a very strategic location from a commuting perspective. There's great access to Georgia 400 to shoot down into the city, even north on Georgia 400 towards the Alpharetta Tech Centers. And also you can cut across through Marietta and over to the Battery and areas like that. All right, next on the list is Alpharetta. And Alpharetta got its name as Alpha being first and Retta being town, as being the first town along the trail that led from downtown Atlanta up to the North Georgia mountains during the gold rush. And it actually started as a trading post, or the first town outside of the Atlanta area. So now, today, Alpharetta is known as one of the top tech centers in the South. Like Roswell, Alpharetta is a great city from a commuting perspective. Now, the housing in Alpharetta is going to be a little bit newer. A majority of the homes were built in the 90s and the 2000s, and a lot of them are in master planned subdivisions. We have like underground power lines, manicured medians and islands, and it just feels like a very well laid out city when you drive through. So Alpharetta also boasts some great entertainment and shopping. It's home to Avalon, which is a mixed-use development with tons of outdoor shopping and restaurants, a movie theater. In the winter, they go ahead and they make it into an ice ring and have concerts and festivities there. Alpharetta has also done a great job with its new city center. They've redeveloped the entire Alpharetta City Hall area and relocated it with a huge big courtyard in the middle. You can play you can sit in the Adirondacks chairs, you can go ahead and toss some cornhole, go to one of the restaurants or shops, have some dinner. So it's a great, great area to live. And there's been some tremendous new housing that's developed around the new city center area. So you can actually walk to the city center. So fourth on my list is Johns Creek. And Johns Creek is on the east side of Georgia 400, where Alpharetta is primarily on the west side of Georgia 400. Johns Creek was named the top 4th best city to live in by the USA Today back in 2017. And Johns Creek has done an amazing job of improving infrastructure, improving roads, building out parks, and really making it a sense of community since it actually became a city just a little bit more than almost 15 years ago. Johns Creek, again, is going to have some of the newer construction, newer homes built in the 90s, 2000, 2010s. If you're a golfer, you're going to love Johns Creek. There are actually 6 golf courses, 5 private, 1 public, including the Atlanta Athletic Club, which hosted the 2011 PGA Championship Tour. The 5th city I'm going to tell you about today is called Milton. Milton is horse country. You know you're in Milton because of all the black ranch rail fences that line the roads and line the horse farms and the equestrian centers. There are tons of stables and riding that kind of goes back to its roots of what Milton was. With Milton, you're going to get homes that are much more spread apart. There are going to be a lot less density of homes in the Milton area, a lot more acreage around your homes. However, you are going to pay a higher median sales price for a home, which in the Roswell, Alpharetta, Johns Creeks, kind of in that high 3s, mid 4s, but the median home price in Milton is going to be closer to $700. So a little bit more expensive homes in this area. You're a little bit away from some of the restaurants and shopping that are in Avalon and Alpharetta, but maybe a 15 or 20 minute ride depending on which part of Milton that you're in. But overall, Milton is a peaceful, quiet area, and it's a nice getaway just outside of the city. So those are my top 5 cities just outside of the Atlanta area. Thank you for watching today. If you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. For future information like this, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time for everything real estate and real estate related here in the North Atlanta area. Take care.